Hello you guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I'm doing this video today so that you can either help identify if whoever raised you is a narcissist and if you relate to any of these points, and also if you already know for sure you've been raised by a narcissist, then this is just to help you to show that you're not alone and there's so many other people there who have experienced similar things, and yeah, that you're not alone. So number one is they don't acknowledge if they handled something inappropriately or made a mistake. So this can cause a huge imbalance in the relationship too, because if someone can never realize that they've made a mistake or acted inappropriately, then they're always, and with narcissists, they always think they're right. And so this can cause a big issue, and it can just really affect your mental health too. Number two is they avoid talking about issues that you've raised concerns about. So this, everything affects your mental health with narcissists. But this one is just, you feel you can never talk to them. And especially if you used to be closer to them and, you know, they seem to understand you better. And then now they just don't, because they don't want to listen to you. They don't want to hear about your concerns, because really all they care about is themselves. And if your concerns are not their concerns, they don't care. And number three, they are not open and honest communicators. So this can also pose issues, of course. Communication is such an important thing in any relationship, whether it's friends, family, co-workers, anything. Communication is so crucial for everything to just go well and run smoothly. Number four, they are quick to blame you when something goes wrong. So with narcissists, nothing's ever their fault. You notice that? Nothing is ever their fault. It's always someone else, or especially since you are what they feed off of, it's mainly your fault, isn't it? No, it's not. But that's how they are. And they just can't take the blame. They can't feel as if they ever did anything wrong. And number five, they exude emotionally manipulative behavior by making you feel guilty or irrational when you try to set healthy boundaries. Boundaries are such an important part of life and any relationship, and with a narcissist it can be harder to feel like you can make boundaries because they always make you feel bad about it. So, but please don't feel bad about setting boundaries with anyone, especially them. So, because with them it's like every boundary is just pushed down and aside and broken basically with them. And so please don't ever feel bad for making boundaries, because it's essential, especially with narcissists. And number six, their love feels conditional. So meaning they expect perfection at most times, and become a bit disappointed when you fail a test, make a mistake, or somehow fall short of their unrealistic expectations. So as their feed, as you're the person who basically feeds them, because that's exactly what they want you to be. If you are not perfect to their exact expectations, which I really don't see anyone can be, because who can know exactly what someone wants, and that means you're not being yourself either. So they make you feel so bad about it, and they make you feel like you are worthless at some points, and that you don't deserve things, and they just make you feel awful if you are not exactly how they want you to be. And number seven, they tend to gaslight you. So this is a term that still a lot of people aren't so familiar with, so I have an exact definition right here. So gaslighting is a form of psychological abuse where a person or group makes someone question their sanity, perception of reality, or memories. People experiencing gaslighting often feel confused, anxious, and unable to trust themselves. So this is so typical for narcissists, because they don't want to ever be the bad person, as I've mentioned before. So they want to manipulate you for you to believe that, you know, if you said they said something, they're like, oh no, I didn't, and then they'll come up with something. So that is definitely something they do a lot. So number eight, they need excessive attention, but rarely give you the attention you want or need. And this is because they always want to make everything about themselves and nothing about you. Number nine, they are often more concerned about what others around them think rather than considering your feelings or subjective experience. And this again is because everything is all about them for them and nothing else matters. And so if they don't want to talk about it, if they don't feel the same thing, even if you talk about something and feel the same thing, they will turn everything into them, which actually is a later point, but they will turn everything into them. They'll say, oh, well, I feel that, or I feel that more, or I went through more. They're just, yeah, it's hopeless with them. Like, they just, they're so, but yeah, they will, they will do that all the time. And number 10, they will dominate the conversation and rarely let anyone else speak. So often, sometimes you're speaking and they just want to speak over you because it doesn't matter what you're saying to them, and what they have to say is more important and their opinion's more important, and they want to be the strong, big voice in the room. So yeah, that's very normal of them too. Number 11, they undermine their children's choices all the time. So again, with an earlier point, basically your choices are not good enough and they undermine it. They think, oh, well, you know what? You ever notice how they say I? It's not just I, it's I or you. But they will say, well, I, blah, 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 about their opinion and their choices instead of just accepting yours. And number 12, they always play the victim. Whether it has to do with you or anyone else in life, they play the victim because they are the most important. They should be the ones spoken about. They had it harder in life. They went through more. It's everything's about them. And so they always play the victim, and especially when it's against you. So when you didn't do anything at all, it was them, you're still the victim to them. And that is so natural for a narcissist to think that it'd be like that and try to put that onto you, put everything onto you, because they cannot be at fault. So 13, they mock or dismiss your emotional responses. So I find with narcissists, they are uncomfortable with any sort of emotions, and that's also what they feed off of, are your emotions and responses and reactions to whatever they want to bother you with. So they often mock it because they just don't feel good about themselves, so they need to mock you. So number 14, they are often jealous of the life you've made for yourself, and this is often more so females, so mother-daughter relationship. The mother, as we're talking about being raised by or growing up with a narcissist, so with mother and daughter it's more dominant this way. And so they're often, any kind of success that you have, they're not happy, they don't really respond to you, they continue talking about whatever else, or they'll talk about how they did the same thing one time. Oh my goodness. No, not always. Like, not always that they did the same thing one time, but they just want to, they don't want you up here, they want you down here and them way up high. But oftentimes you're up here, they're down there. And 15, the last one for this video, is they tend to be overbearing and want to put their way of everything, like their way of life and their everything, onto you and want you to do the exact same thing because they think that's always the best way. And overbearing in so many ways, whether it's just any form of communication, they're just overbearing and they want to know everything and they want to have zero boundaries because they think that they deserve and have reason to know absolutely everything and to just be in everyone's business. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this provided some clarity to you and hopefully, provides you with something, some comforting feeling to know that you are not alone. And as always, you can always reach out to me for anything, any support or any questions or just anything to say hey. I would love to hear from you. And thank you so much for watching. If you can, please leave a comment of where you're from. Leave where you're from in the comments. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe. And thank you so much again for watching. See you in the next one.